It's Super Bowl Sunday. For millions of people, it's a day of parties, cheers, and celebration. But on this one Super Bowl Sunday, while the country was glued to their TVs, something truly horrific was happening inside a quiet Syracuse apartment. Today, we're looking at a case that is chilling to the bone, the unsolved murder of 18-year-old Jill-Lyn Euto. Before we get into it, if you find yourself drawn to these stories that demand justice, make sure you're subscribed to our channel, Whispers of Crime, and follow us on all your favorite podcast platforms. You won't want to miss what we have coming up.
And right at the heart of this story, you have these absolutely gut-wrenching words from Jill-Lyn's mother, Joanne Browning. This quote, it's everything. It's a reminder that this isn't just some spooky story. This is about a real family, torn apart, and a mother's desperate need for answers, a promise she fought to keep until her dying day.
So let's go back. The date is January 28th, 2001. The city is Syracuse, New York. The air is buzzing with excitement for the Super Bowl. For Jill-Lyn and her sister, the plan was simple. Hang out, watch the game at their mom's house, just a normal Sunday. But it would turn out to be anything but. Look at how quickly a normal day can spiral into an absolute nightmare. It starts with a simple, happy phone call around 11 a.m. See you later for the game. But then, Jill-Lyn never shows up. Calls go to voicemail. By the next morning, that little knot of worry tightens when her mom finds out she was a no-show at work. That's when you know something is seriously wrong. And that afternoon, that's when her mother, Joanne, walks into her daughter's apartment and finds the unimaginable.
But who was Jill-Lyn? It's so important we remember her not just as a victim. She was 18 years old, just starting her life. She was so proud of being independent, with her very first apartment and a job she loved. She had big dreams of becoming a paramedic, of helping people. Friends and family all said the same thing about her. She had a huge heart and she trusted people, maybe a little too easily. And that beautiful, trusting nature may have been the very thing her killer used against her.
And this is where the case gets really, really strange. Because when police got to the crime scene, what they found, and maybe more importantly what they didn't find, just didn't add up. It painted a picture that was deeply disturbing. Okay, let's walk through these clues, because each one is more baffling than the last. First off, no forced entry. The door was locked. So what does that tell you? The killer didn't break in, they were let in. Then the weapon. Get this, it was a kitchen knife from her own apartment. This wasn't planned. It suggests a moment of rage, an explosion of violence. And nothing was stolen. Her purse, her valuables, all there. So this wasn't about robbery. And maybe the creepiest part? It's a busy apartment building on Super Bowl Sunday, and not a single person saw or heard anything suspicious, just silence.
When you put all of that together, there's really only one place it leads, and it is a dark, terrifying place. The police have believed from day one that the person who took Jill-Lyn's life wasn't a monster hiding in the shadows. No, it was someone she knew, someone she trusted enough to open her door to. It's the ultimate betrayal. With the case going cold almost immediately and this chilling silence from the killer, one voice refused to be quieted. Her mom, Joanne Browning. And her fight for justice is, well, it's a story in itself, an absolute force of nature.
I mean, just look at what this woman did. This wasn't just a fight. It was an all-out war against silence. Can you imagine calling detectives 5 or 6 times a day? She wouldn't let them forget. She went on national television, sharing her grief with millions, hoping someone, anyone, would come forward. She covered Syracuse in billboards and pink ribbons, Jill-Lyn's favorite color, making sure no one in that city could forget her daughter's face. She did absolutely everything a mother could do.
And then, just when you think this story can't get any more heartbreaking, it does. In 2007, 6 years into her relentless fight, Joanne died in a tragic accident at work. She passed away without ever knowing who killed her little girl, without ever getting to say those words, "Honey, we got him." It is just an unbelievable second tragedy piled on top of the first. Joanne's death and the fact that Jill-Lyn's case is still unsolved, it really makes you ask a bigger question, right? How does this happen? Why do so many murder cases in this country just go cold? The answer is pretty complicated and frankly, a little depressing. Check out this number, 1 in 5. According to the Department of Justice, for every 5 cold cases that get reopened and investigated, only 1 is actually solved. 1. Think about that. The odds are just brutal. For families like Jill-Lyn's, that hope for justice can start to feel like a lottery ticket. So when we say a case goes cold, what are we actually talking about? Well, it's pretty simple. It means all the initial leads have dried up. The phone stops ringing, evidence goes nowhere, and because police departments are so often underfunded and overwhelmed with new cases coming in every single day, they're forced to move on. The file gets put away on a shelf, buried under the weight of it all. So let's bring it back to Jill-Lyn. For over 2 decades now, her case has been trapped in that silence. But what if there's something new? What if technology that didn't even exist in 2001 could finally be the thing that breaks this case wide open?
This is where things get really interesting. There's this comment that's been floating around on a Reddit forum dedicated to unsolved murders. Now, we have to take it with a grain of salt, right? It's unconfirmed, but it points to this incredible new tool that's been cracking impossible cases: genetic genealogy. It's how they caught the Golden State Killer. The theory here is that police might have the killer's DNA from the scene, but he's not in any criminal database. So they wait. They wait for a cousin or a nephew or some distant relative to upload their DNA to a public genealogy site, and then, boom, they can build a family tree that could lead them right to their suspect.
And that's the big question hanging over this case right now, isn't it? After all this time, all this silence, could a little bit of science finally give Jill-Lyn her voice back? Could a database and an algorithm finally deliver the justice that her mother fought and died for? It's a tiny glimmer of hope in a very dark story. As of today, the murder of Jill-Lyn Euto remains unsolved. Her killer has gotten away with it for more than 2 decades. But maybe someone out there knows something. Even the smallest, most insignificant detail could be the key that unlocks everything. If you have any information at all, please make the call. And for everyone else, please like this video and share it. The more people who hear Jill-Lyn's story, the better the chances are that her family will finally get the answers they deserve. Thanks for listening.